Good evening, my morning, fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am looking through interesting things here. So today is the day of working through this box of things, which includes my comics, oddly. My graphic portfolio. There. I don't think I need to keep this, though. These, we'll see whether I've got 900 copies of this or not. A much more recent edition is this one, which is cool. My Legend of Innocence. We don't have tunes. Tunes. Are the tunes going to work today? I have questions like this a lot. Nope. Guess we don't have tunes this morning. Let's see here. I always find it fascinating when I'm doing a whole bunch of these pictures. I don't think I need to worry about her or her. Pretty sure I have those. Yeah, we've got no music today. We've got a definite issue going on with our audio system here. A whole bunch of these and these and these. Oh, hey. And at one point in time, I was going to send an animation demo reel to all of these people. And didn't, because I have imposter syndrome. I always wonder, what are my alternate lifestyles, life things, looking at, my life through the lens of, where I didn't have imposter syndrome, where I didn't have all these things. And what was my life like in that alternate world? I mean, here's what anime we had at the time that Star Trek 6 was being released, which was the 80s. This is all we had. Late 80s, early 90s. Akira, Appleseed, Bubblegum Crisis, Dangayo, Dirty Pair, Dominion, Fandora, Galaxy Express 39, Gunbuster, Gunhead, Maddox 01, Megazone 23, Writing Bean, Macross, and a bunch of zillion. And that was what was available to us in those days. It's cool. All right. So at this point, what I'm doing is just simply taking pictures of all of this. This was a set of artwork that I had, which I did for either my mom or my dad or whatever, but Dad kept it, which was cool of him. This is good mid 2000s era. So that was kind of cool. Me and my universal gear. Good morning, Brent. Yeah, that's what I feel sometimes. Saying this is an interesting artifact here. This is a Starlog magazine. It isn't just a Starlog bump extra, but essentially it's from the era of the very late 80s, early 90s, so 90, 91, 92, somewhere in there. The cool thing is a page full of anime, as it was in that time. Hey, some user. We don't have music today for reasons. I wish I knew what those reasons were, but we don't have music today. I keep trying to push the music button and it keeps just kind of doing the spinny thing. Not 2 inches by 4 inches. I learned that one the hard way. That's actually one of those things that gripes me every time. And that is, every time I plan for a 2x4 to be a 2x4, it's never a 2x4. Yeah. Yeah, probably. I actually asked an engineer once why that was, and they said something about it was involving heat pressure and heat treatment. So the 2x4 is 2x4, then they treat it, and then it ends up being, whatever. 1.5 by 3 or something weird like that. But yeah, or that's what it is once it comes out of the sawmill, or I don't know, something. Either way, it confuses me every time I try to build something. I'm going to use a 2x4. So I'll just use this and plan to be 2 inches by 4 inches. That would make sense, right? And all these years we've had people who just kind of put up with it. All right. As much fun as this is, I don't think I need to keep that. All right. And this was an interesting folder to pull out because my dad kept all of his. This was his original thing for his fabric shop. Oh yeah, I don't blame you. You can leave. We've got some user and Dominic here keep me company. I hope both of you guys are getting work done. Here's the daily report. That's interesting. And that intriguing. You won't be gone long. You'll be back. I'll still be probably here doing this. I mean, hate to say this, but I think I'll be doing this for at least another week or so. But we are getting down there. What you guys can't see is that I have done a lot of work over here and actually found some of my workbench over here, which is a major accomplishment. Yeah, isn't that true? Those are really difficult to write. So good luck to you. I mean, I say that knowing that it's only a matter of time before I'm going to have to do something very similar to some user. I'm sure. And then you will be saying the same thing to me. Well, not yet, but what will happen is at some point, I'm going back to school, but my undergrad's going to be in Japanese culture. So there will come a time where I'm going to need to have, if nothing else, once I get my doctorate, the battle plan will be to, be sort of an expert in culture, especially between Japan and the United States. And so the theory would be that at some point you're going to be inviting Dr. Guy to go do something, I've already decided Dr. Guy is my name. I like Dr. Guy. It's funny. It makes me chuckle. It also sort of leads to my irreverence towards certain structures and institutions. I think so too. It also sounds like a supervillain. So, and then Dr. Guy turned on the laser, to try to kill Super Dude. But first, I have to monologue. Ha ha ha, you thought you got me, Super Dude. But indeed, you did not. For I have to sit here and come up with more things to say so that we give you time to figure out a way to escape your inevitable doom. Totally do that. I'm just saying. So, yeah. So at some point in time, I'm going to have to do that. And have to build a laser so that I can at least, have something for my, inevitable super whatevers. So, yeah. An interesting folder that my dad had here. These are all Bernina things because my grandmother was a Bernina dealer. And so my dad has a whole bunch of, $3 off of sewing machines and materials and things for, like various whatevers, so long as you buy a Bernina. Yeah, cool. It's all part of the world that my grandmother lived in. My dad worked for my grandmother for a long time, which was cool. So my dad opened up his frame shop right next door to my grandmother. And then he ran both shops for a long time. Because my dad had a business degree. So my dad used his business degree to run my grandmother's business, or help run my grandmother's business. It's kind of cool to look at some of these things too, because they're like pattern orders and things like that. Little Bernina machine's falling off. That's right, they're all going into the trash because I'm not keeping any of this. Yeah, my solution is to just start all over again. And it actually got complicated yesterday too, because I was going to go to Colorado University, CU Boulder, and then they decided that I can go to CU Boulder, but first I probably ought to go get like 24 credit hours at some other college. And that's because they want to prove that I'm a good student. And the thing that makes me mad about the whole thing is, oh, no, it's okay. It just happens to be a sore spot because it happened yesterday. But the thing that frustrates me about this whole thing is I was a 3.45 student GPA at Westwood and I was on the dean's list and I had gotten honors and all of that stuff for being a good student. And the problem is that CU will not acknowledge that Westwood even existed, which means that now they need me to prove that I'm a good student by getting at least a 3.0 somewhere else to prove that I am not a bad student. And I'm like, you could look at my Westwood stuff. And they're like, no, we can't accept anything from Westwood. And I'm like, I know you're not going to use it for my grades. I get that. But at least you could look at it and see what kind of student I am. And they're like, nope, we can't accept anything. And I'm like, okay. So I've got to go to Metro or Red Rocks or some other local college and prove that I'm not an idiot when it comes to school, because they literally cannot accept they can't accept anything that has been done. And I'm like, that's so weird. It's such an amazingly powerful bias. You know what I mean? Like, they are so biased that they literally cannot even accept the paperwork before on that one. So it's kind of weird. I'm just so strange. So very strange. Some really old art of mine. That's kind of cool. I like this piece. I did that piece, and I think it was 92, 93, something like that. We were practicing and working on merging 3D with 2D. So this is another piece that we did. My friend did the 3D background, and I did the character in the foreground. And the whole point was to prove that we could use 3D and 2D together. So Westwood, first of all, Westwood was a for-profit college. So it wasn't a state college or anything like that. It was for-profit. So they were very expensive. Second of all, they decided to not get accredited for whatever reason. I don't know whether that was they didn't get accredited but an accreditation means that somebody comes in and checks to make sure all of your stuff, all of your school curriculum is up to code, right? Or whatever. So, you have to teach math. Are you teaching math, or are you just having all of your kids in the classroom sitting there and just, playing video games, or whatever? So there's somebody that checks that. And for some reason, they lost their accreditation while I was there. So only while I was there. It's not like they had not ever had accreditation. They were once accredited, but then they lost it for some reason. And I think it was something that went wrong with the nursing program, not my program, but another program. And so they lost all of it, but didn't tell anybody. And they certainly didn't tell the students. And so after we had graduated and I went on ahead and went to Japan and everything like that, that was when the auditors started to audit all of these places and found out that they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. And so they said, that's it. You can't operate anymore. You have to shut down. And so there was a class action lawsuit, and a lot of students sued them. And then it was after the suits were all settled, the companies all folded and the colleges all folded. The problem is that that then meant that all of the degrees that we had gotten were immediately invalidated. Oh yeah, class action no less. So lawsuit is, me versus you, but a class action is these 5,000 people are suing this one thing for this one thing. And part of the suit was that they promised if you went to college, they would find you a job. And in the era that they were in, there was problems finding a job. I mean, we're still having problems finding jobs now. But in that era, they were really having problems finding a job. So a lot of people went to college, put themselves $65,000 in debt for the college to give them a photocopied piece of paper of like 100 email addresses to email and then say good luck. And that was their version of finding them a job. And of course, all these people then had these degrees, went out into the real world with, nothing more than a photocopied piece of paper with a whole bunch of email addresses. And that was it. And so they didn't find a job. And a lot of these people ended up working low class or low pay jobs after, and then they were expected to somehow come up with the money to pay back their student loans, which is why you're hearing all of this about student loans and what's going on in America and why that's a big thing right now. Because all of these people were promised that if they got a bachelor's degree, they would move up to a higher bracket of income. And when they didn't, and they ended up making, $30,000 a year, and all of a sudden they have, of that 30,000, 15,000 needs to be paid to student loans. All of a sudden they're like, that's not sustainable. I can't live on $15,000 a year. And so that was the problem. And that's what went down. And that's why we're having all of these things about student loans. And why you're hearing all of these people saying, I want my student loans forgiven, because they're like, all that's happening now is 50% of my income is going towards student loans and repaying student loans. And it's all because I'm working at McDonald's. And that's the only job I could get. And of course, the counter on this is the conservative side, which has shrunk it down to, I don't want to pay my student loans because I don't want to have responsibility, which is not the problem. So they're just saying, buck up, pay half your income to the student loans for the next 15 years. We all did. And of course, they didn't. They only paid 5% of their income or whatever, because that's the problem. 5%, we'd all pay back. 50%, that's a little hard, and so that's part of the problem. My student loans, I feel, are completely fair, because at least those people who, yeah, that's their go-to argument. Exactly. That's what they return to every time is, oh, well, you guys are just being lazy and want everything given to you. Well, no. I mean, most of these people are actually just fine with the idea of paying back their student loans, but not at 50% of their income. And I'm exaggerating for 50%. It might be only 33%, but still a third of your income going to paying back student loans for 10 years when they promised you that you'd get a job. And of course, when you say that, the response to that one is, well, we all know that no one's promising a job. Come on, how stupid are you? And I'm like, well, it wasn't stupid, it was desperation. Most of us who went back to college, and I'm one of them, went back to college because we were sick of being stuck at one place where we'd rise up in a company, and the only way to get past this certain line was to have a bachelor's degree. And it said it on every job app. Every job application said requires bachelor's degree. And so it wasn't like we were making this up. We realized we could make about 30 or 40K a year, and then that was it. And then there was no going to 50K. You couldn't make 60K, and you certainly couldn't make 150K. And so, you're looking at 30 or 40 for the rest of your life, which is funny because right now I don't even make 40, which is particularly humorous, but I get it. And that's part of the problem is that, okay, so you see every job posting for more money than 40,000 a year says bachelor's degree. So you go back and you look around, and then these colleges sat there and said, "Come to us. We promise you will make 100,000 if you get the bachelor's degree with us. Just pay us $65,000." So we go into debt and we go into loans, and then the loans are $500 a month from that point forward for the next 10 years. And a lot of people were making money off of this, and a lot of people were making $2,000 a month and having to pay $500 of that $2,000 to their student loans. So they were only coming out with $1,500 after student loans, and so and they're still making effectively $30,000 a year. And so that's part of why this lawsuit happened, and that's part of why the government started forgiving student loans, was because these people were trapped, and so there was no way out of it. I lucked out. I had a plan when I went to college. I had to have a bachelor's degree in order to teach in Japan. I could not teach in Japan without a bachelor's. So I went back and got my bachelor's for one reason and one reason only, and that was to go overseas and teach in Japan. And then when I came back, that's when everything had fallen apart. So I came back from Japan, and then that was when it was like, well, now everything's all screwed up, and your degree doesn't work anymore. It's not legal and stuff, which now is causing a plethora of other issues. But I think part of the problem that we get such venom from current colleges is these universities have been here since the 1800s. I know that Colorado University has been here since literally Colorado was made a state. You mean recently? Like this time around? Time for a life change. I've been mad and angry about having to go back and start all over again. And it's made me very bitter because it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything. And the thing that really makes me mad about this whole thing was in 1992, I graduated from high school. And then I went immediately to Colorado University and took a semester, 2 semesters of just, I don't know, classes. I don't know what it was kind of that poking around, figuring out what I was supposed to do with my life. And then I dropped out. And then I went out and got a job and was doing fine until I hit this wall. And the wall was pretty much, you have to have a degree to get past this wall. And that made me bitter and angry because I didn't want to have to go pay $65,000 to get a piece of paper that would allow me to get past, 40,000. So I ultimately had to force myself to go back to school in 2002. Well, then I went back to school and got the bachelor's degree, only to find out that somebody was jacking around with that. And now I don't have a degree again. And now I have to go back to school because now it's even worse. I can't make more than about 30,000, but anybody making less than 75,000 now can't even have a house anymore in this market because our housing market's gone insane. So I need to make 75,000 just to own a house, just have a place to live. And so now I've got to go back to school again because they took my degree away that I had. And so I don't have a degree. So I'm back to, I can't get any job that says requires a bachelor's degree, which includes teacher. That's what I want to be, is a junior high teacher. But you can't be a junior high teacher if you don't have a bachelor's degree. And this is the part of this dialogue that I seem to have a problem with when I talk to the political right. They're like, go be a plumber then. Well, I don't want to be a plumber, for one. For two, it's like 10 years of trade at that point in time to get to the point where you're making money. So I'd still have to find some place to live for 10 years while I work as a trade person, learning how to be, you know what I mean? And for three, I don't have the back for it anymore. I'm in my 50s. My back's starting to get crumbly, and like all of us are. So, but I mean, it's like, but that's the problem, I'm not really good at plumbing, so why would I want to do plumbing? I'm good at being a teacher. I'm good at working with kids, especially teenagers. I'm really good with teenagers, and that's a skill, and I'm just good with them. So good, they put me in the trouble classes. You know what I mean? Like when they have classes that other teachers won't take, they put me in there, and the kids are fine. And don't act up. They're not me, you know. So I'm good with the kids, and I don't even scare them. Well, I mean, I probably scare them, but just by my face. Anyway, that's part of this whole knot. So, welcome back, Brent. So the battle plan now is I'm bribing myself. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go back and get my bachelor's degree. And then I bribed myself by saying, if you go back and get your bachelor's degree, you can go get your PhD and become a doctor and get a doctorate. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. That does seem to be that particular culture's go-to. I know you're good at this, but do this thing you're bad at because everybody needs to have a job. And then when I'm bad at it and fail, they're like, well, you should have tried harder. I'm not good at it. It's kind of like, why am I doing this instead of continuing to be a comic artist? Because I'm not good at the part that you need to be good at to be a comic artist. I'm good at writing. I'm good at drawing. I'm good at storytelling. I am really bad at business. I'm really bad at making money. If there was some way that I could be a comic artist and not have to worry about making money and still have a roof over my head, that's what I'd be. I'd tell stories and write comics and do that and be happy as a clam, but I'm not good at the business part. And it's all in this instance, this is frustrating, is that I'm not good at it because I don't have the attention span that's required to stay with it. And since ADD is not something that people call a real disease, a lot of people think that it's just somebody going, I just want to be lazy, so I'm going to say I don't have the attention span. Because, I was never taught discipline as a child. They disciplined me so much that I'm still undoing trauma from my childhood because everybody disciplined me. They all started if you don't do it, we will just beat you until you finally do it. And all I ended up doing was just getting beaten all the time. And so it's a figurative, not literal, but you get the idea. Like I spent so many lunches in detention that finally I just stopped going outside and found that's how come I started drawing. That's why I started drawing, was because I never went out for lunch. Ultimately, they just put me into, oh, I'm out of sync with my video. Does not surprise me. My iPad, I feel like, doesn't do as good a job on this. It's not as good with transmission receiving because I've noticed that when I start the program, the music distorts. It sounds like, when you remember the old records, you'd put them on the record player and then you'd drag your finger along the record so that the record would slow down. Start to run. You know. Oh, that's all good. Yeah, I finished the project that I was working on, which was that set of art, or that one folder. And now I'm kind of poking around going, what else do I want to do? But yeah, that's the reason why all of this is frustrating. And now that CU's response has been, you've got to go to a community college for a semester or two first. I'm like, really? So Brent, that was what I was telling some user, is that yesterday I got the information from CU that they said, yeah, we need to prove that you're a good student. So first we need you to go to a community college for 24 credit hours to prove that you can get a 3.0 or better. And I'm like, I've got an entire degree that shows that not only was I a 3.45 student, but also that I was on the dean's list for 2 of my 3 years, and I was part of an honors society for good performance and student operations and stuff like that, and doing good in my school. And so, I mean, you could use that, but they are so against even acknowledging that that Westwood existed, that they can't even use the fact that I got a 3.45 GPA. They have to go, we don't know anything about you, so you need to prove you can get a 3.0 or better somewhere. They're so biased. I mean, like, so absolutely biased that that's what they're doing. So I've got to go take 24 credit hours at, Red Rocks or, wherever. I think that probably it'd be useful to do that with the online community college, and then that way I don't have to go anywhere. So I've got a year now of community college I've got to take before I can even start my degree. Hey there, cat. So we're grumping. We're in grumpy mode. I need more coffee mode. So anyway, that's where we are. Yeah. So I did make an interesting discovery, and that was I really like McDonald's coffee. Just the coffee, just black, with ice in it, because I don't drink anything hot, but because I don't like hot stuff. I mean, I can drink hot stuff, I just don't. And so I went out and just poked around because I was like, what is it about McDonald's coffee that's so good? And they use a certain kind of bean that is not acidic, not as acidic. And that's what I don't really like about, like, say, Starbucks coffee, although I think Starbucks burns their coffee too. But even when their coffee is fresh, it will be fine. And thanks, Donald. Thanks all of you guys for just listening to me vent, because it's just a little bit stressful. It's been stressful since about June. There's been a lot of stress going on. But one thing that is happening is, this guy right here is trash bag number 6. So, that's pretty heavy. I'm going to put it over here. Let's start a new trash bag. That's trash bag number 6. So, that's good. This is trash bag number 7. Look at me starting out trash bag number 7. If you guys, oh no, that'd be sucky. Hope you can stay with that class there. So, when my dad passed away, I inherited all of his stuff that was in his storage unit. Things like this. Some of this stuff is amazing. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but this is a slide rule. This was my dad's slide rule when he was in college, and he used it in college, and it comes with its leather pouch, and true to my father, it is shrink wrapped. That's what my dad loved doing, was shrink wrapping stuff. So it's totally shrink wrapped, because my dad was a goober. And this, my dad said before he passed away, he said, you need to, or this belongs to my child, not dad's child. So in other words, my kid. Because I actually suck at math, and this won't help me any. All I'll do is just go, ooh, it sure is pretty to slide it back and forth. And that'll be all I'll ever do. My child, however, may actually take it with them to college and use it in college, for all I know, because they're into quaint things like that. So they may actually use it. But I promised my father that I would do that. And these are, it's kind of hard to see there. These are, yes, he shrink wrapped it. No, he stored this is shrink wrapped too. These are notepads from my grandmother's shop. These are the last notepads from her shop. And he took those notepads and he shrink wrapped them all together. So these are just, sales pads. So, you come in, you're going to buy this, this, and this, and you write down this, this, and this, and you total it all up and then give a total down there and then hand them this as a receipt. And it has a carbon copy because this is from the 80s and 90s. So my dad shrink wrapped everything. I swear to God. I say that with a lot of love. I absolutely love my father. He was such a goofball. But he was an entertaining goofball. The thing about my dad, oh, here's the other one. Yeah, here's the other one. So this is my dad's other slide rule, which also is shrink wrapped. My dad is my dad. Was my dad. But here's the thing about that. My dad may have shrink wrapped all of these things, but it is a thing where when we say, oh yeah, this thing's shrink wrapped too, everybody in the room chuckles, Yep, that's Mike. Central Appraisal District. This is not a bill, but it might be something useful. This is from 2014. Oh, that's the house. Okay. One of the other things I really didn't want to do was throw things away and then find out that there's property out there that Dad owned, or property that my mom owned, or something. Oh my goodness. When my dad does something, boy. Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, I can at least see the logic of Velcro ties because cable management is a thing. These are kind of cool. I might do art on these. So it's parchment-esque paper, but it's got this gold border around it. I'll draw on this. I'm sure that's not what Dad bought it for, but that's what I'm going to use it for. Which, again, I think my dad would be more than entertained. Oh. A complete summary appraisal report of 1500 Place, a 9,382 square foot multi-tenant rental strip center located at 1505 North Fraser. Well, there you go. Does it have maps? Because I like maps. These are really nice. Oh, yeah. The greater Houston area. Yeah, baby. Oh, hey, that's kick butt. That's Conroe. Complete with the airport. I very rarely see the maps with the airport. Yeah, cool. Yeah, just saying. And then there's Inner Conroe. Oh, yeah, I'll take pictures of all of this. And this is it's a floodplain map. Wow. Now I'm kind of looking around going, my grandmother's place was in the middle of a floodplain. I guess it doesn't surprise me a whole lot. Oh, yeah, good old Alligator Creek. Man. Alligator Creek was a mess. But that was like, yes. Yeah. Donald, exactly. My dad's way of um, dealing with ADD and sort of the people who forced him to conform when he, because he was undiagnosed until he was in his 80s, almost in his 80s. So he didn't really have. Um, this is nice. Um, so he never really had the ability to work on it when he was a kid. This is another appraisal. Oh, hey. This is kind of cool. I had forgotten it was Solomon Fabrics. These are pictures of my dad's center before my dad bought it. My dad bought it in 1986. Oh, Maze Cafe. Aw, this is cool because look, it's my grandmother's shop. That's what my grandmother's shop was. There you go. I don't have that many pictures inside my grandmother's shop. There's my grandmother. There she is, way in the back, of course, You're going to come take pictures, it's fine, just don't take pictures of me. Okay. She is who she is. She always will be. Or was who she was, I guess. That's so cool. Grandmother's in that shop, in that picture. But yeah, that was his way of handling his. Yeah. I mean, I've lived with ADD all of my life, and usually I've paid a pretty steep price, and Dad did too. But Donald's spot on. Dad's way of handling his ADD was to clamp down on his ADD like uh, I don't know, something that clamps down a lot. But he was super OCD. I've probably told this story many times. Of course, my dad was a draftsman. So a lot of the things that he did was things like drafting. And so he had the most exquisite pens. The pens were so, so cool. His pens were wonderful. And of course, I was an artist. So all I could ever do was I loved being in his office with his pens. And I would move his pens, and it would drive him crazy. Um, so, I mean, my dad was never he was never mean. He wasn't a mean guy. He was so afraid of hurting people's feelings. Um, and I think that also holds true. I'm noticing with a lot of ADDers, we uh, we don't develop empathy until later than a lot of our peers, and so we're usually kind of dicks in the very beginning. So we start out kind of being jerks, and then we either get punished badly for it, which that happens, or um, we get we whatever happens about puberty, we all sort of start developing empathy. Um, yes, yeah, and man, the saddest part about my dad passing away is things like this. This is my dad's scale, right? You can see it says his name right there, right here, because he put it in this little groove. I don't know how he did that. But this is my dad's scale. This was one of my favorite tools because I love using scales for drawing straight lines because you can place this straight down and draw a straight line. It makes a great straight edge, and then you can pick it up without having to, fuss with it. Oh, yeah, I don't usually. My apologies if that's a thing. But yeah, so I don't use profanities very often because my mother was one of those who she used profanities whenever it was a important thing and she wanted you to listen. Especially someone like me, who, as I was saying, we were usually on the wrong side of what is all of this Dun and Bradstreet stuff? What year? 83. I'm updating the financial situation. Oh yeah, no, it's all good. I don't tend to find profanities. First of all, it seems kind of base. You know what I mean? Like to me, and it's fine. And what's funny is I've got friends who cuss all the time, and they don't seem to bother me. It just bothers me if I do it. I don't care if other people do it. It just bothers me if I do it. It is not the person I want to be, and that's all. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. Business report update form, and there's nothing on it. Nothing. There's nothing here. Nothing on this. So we're going to throw these directly away. We don't need them. I don't know what this is or why. It was confidential. Whatever it was confidential. I think I saved these because it's interesting. Because this is a P&L, but they're blank. These are blank P&Ls, so I think I saved them because it'd be fun to use Dad's P&Ls to. This is a payroll record. This is an unopened package of payroll records, so this is also fascinating because if you ever look at this is like this is the way we used to do payroll back in the day before computers. Not you.
Sorry, I thought I heard my name.
Yeah, I know you did. But I wasn't talking to you. So I'll put that into with a P&L and scan it at some point in time and maybe use it if I ever do have a business. So, Joe, I don't know who the heck that is. R301A, max catch register, though. Sometimes I just save stuff because it's nice to see my dad's handwriting. My dad had phenomenally beautiful handwriting. Personally contact this. What? Cut these some. Okay. Yes, that is a bad word in our household, technically. But it's only because we use it. I think it's adorable that Google lets me do that. Or not Google, Amazon. Computer, what's the temperature outside?
Right now, it's 12 degrees Celsius. Today, expect a high of 21 degrees.
Oh, computer, turn on Swampy. If it's going to be that nice outside, I'm going to turn on the swamp cooler. Yeah, Google doesn't. It was Alexa. You're right. These are all Bernina receipts. I know, right? It makes me feel like I'm living in the 21st century. Spring 1989 dealer highlights. Scott Noble. Okay. Dear Bernina dealer. Or Bernina dealer. Do we talk anywhere about my family? Because if nobody talks about my family in this thing, I'm throwing it away. I'm only capturing stuff that's part of my family's history. And if they're not going to talk about my family specifically, this foot replaces foot number 033. Okay, you guys, are your feet numbered properly? Have you checked? Have you checked everywhere? Nope, I don't see anything in here. Oh, I'm all about this plan. What do you mean, let you? I'm into this plan. Spring has sprung. Time for spring cleaning and redecorating. Want a better project to start with this than a beautiful, rough old pillow. Okay. Here are 2 more 11:30 ad slicks that you can use during the 11:30 trading promotion. Huh. That's okay. It's, if nothing else, it's kind of fascinating to see. Okay, so my grandmother had a business. In the business, she ran a fabric shop. I've probably said this a number of times. I know this is something that I have discussed because I grew up in a fabric shop, which is why I know how to sew, of course, and I've got 2 really nice Bernina sewing machines, which are old, but they were top of the line in 1995 or so. And sadly, my grandmother succumbed to Alzheimer's, and here are the slicks in question. Look at that. Here they are. That's kind of cool. But either way, it's kind of cool to see stuff that is literally my grandmother doing like normal work. You know what I mean? Like, here's just a bunch of advertising that you can put out in your advertising campaign whenever you're doing your advertising. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of cool. It's just neat to see, and I'll take pictures of it and save it, and then I'll throw them away because I don't need to keep all this. I'll take a picture of it. So it's the news is talking about recertification of value. The news was indeed talking about that. Oh, here's my dad's shop as it is today, or was when I was. My dad's shop as it looked whenever my dad was there doing the work. Front view of property. I also like looking at this because I'm like, whose car is parked out front? It's a game I play a lot. Let's see here. I see my grandmother's car. Do not see my dad's pickup. Which means that Dad wasn't here at the time that they did these pictures. That's fine. And this is so cool because it's all these photos from the property as it was. Oh! No, that's not my dad's pickup. So my dad repainted his pickup at one point in time. He had a brown pickup, and he didn't like the brown. And so at some point in time, he repainted it, or rather had an... Yes, that's, although I'm not sure if I have an upholstery foot. We might need to get an upholstery foot, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. It will cost you an upholstery foot, which is actually okay, because one of the things I want to do is make the chairs from Star Trek 2, and that requires a lot of, oh, my sister's student loans. I mean, my sister, being my sister, of course, paid them all off promptly. She actually did not pay them all off promptly. The U.S. Army paid them all off promptly. However, I shall take a picture of all of these and then throw all of those away. We don't need those. Moving forward in neuroscience. Okay. Easy floors. I know we're moving forward in neuroscience, but this is Baylor College of Medicine. That's not anything we were working on at the time. I'm not sure what Dad was saying. Ooh, more paper to draw on. Look at all this paper. This is like a blue marble paper. She doesn't need them. I'm not actually being like horsey. I'm serious. My sister, I mean, she left college an awful long time ago. We have her DD-214. We have her separation papers. Okay. So we don't need to worry about that. Oh. This is my dad being my dad, all right. This cracks me up. Here you go, guys. There's a blast from the past. That's me at my school. My students are in summers, so this had to have been the middle of summer. Since I'm wearing a tie, I have to assume this was during a visit, because I didn't wear ties any more than I absolutely had to. I actually rather hate wearing ties. It's not one of my top 10s. For you guys, you are nobody I know. Okay. Oh, whoa. Oh, wait. Okay, that's family. I'm like, who are these people? I don't know. Right? Who's that guy? What a weirdo. It's probably some weirdo. Usually it's some weirdo. You know what? I should keep these, though. Dad made like 400 copies of this. I should keep these because somebody will invariably say, do you have a picture of yourself doing work? Yes, this is me. Actually in a school. Yep. Literally a guy with... That's why I say, when I get my PhD, I'm going by Dr. Guy. Dr. Guy is awesome. This is a great name. I mean, like, it sounds like a supervillain. I'm into this plan. Or, for that matter, without the gray hair. I mean, note my lack of gray hair. You know who gave me the gray hair? You see these kids in the front? Yeah. That's where the gray hair came from. Just saying. That's where I got the gray hair. These kids. They were good kids. I'm joking. They were good. Good little guys. They actually really were. I miss some of them now. What's really weird for me, if you really want to talk about the strangest stuff ever, is my kids, right? I can draw my own destiny. My kids now would be in their early to mid 30s. That's when I feel old. My kids are middle-aged. My dad had a Ticketmaster. And so I've got all of these great tickets from his Ticketmaster, which I will take pictures of and then throw them away because I'm not really keeping that stuff. I don't need to. Aw, it's my cousin. I love my cousins, especially on that side. There's my adorable child being adorable and childy. That one's definitely a picture I'm keeping. Can't take that one away from me. And also my cousin. I'll take pictures. I'll keep that. This one came back. Bando. Oh, Ibaraki Ken. Where is that? Oh, that's why I kept this one. This is my co-teacher's. I sent this to my co-teacher. Every year I'll send out New Year's cards, and so this was my New Year's card that I sent, and sadly, it's sent back, return to sender, address unknown. No, 13. Definitely, my child is 13, for better or for worse. My child is most definitely for 13. And my dad's demo tape. My dad wanted to get into voiceover at one point in time, so this is his little cover for his demo tape. I find that funny too. I find all kinds of things funny. Yeah, my child is now 13, for better or for worse. That picture was taken clearly 13 years ago, or maybe not quite 13, but definitely over a decade. That's not a bad thought process, so maybe I should keep them. It's for Shania Twain, who I'm pretty sure is still alive. Although, anything could have happened. Okay, so here is a well-folded piece of yellow pad paper. Don't know why we're keeping that. That's my grandmother's car. Also weird, but, we do what we do. Certificate of ownership. Oh, this is important. This is the ownership of my grandfather's plot in the cemetery. I'll keep that in the special papers folder. This is getting into the 50s. All right, print or type. Print or type. Copenhagen. What in the world? Oh, for pipes. Like, why are we keeping Copenhagen? Anything that says Copenhagen always makes me wonder, where in the world did you get stuff from Copenhagen? Chriswell. So my dad was into pipes at some point in time. So he was into pipes, and so I have sort of a love-hate with the pipes, of course, because part of the reason that my dad passed away was because of smoking. When you buy a pipe, whoa. Oh man. So the funniest part about this is that apparently, yeah, not so far from you, some user, but apparently it's got like all of Dad's information. I'm gonna keep that because that's funny. Danish pipe tobacco. Mac Baron. I mean, these are all in English, so Royal Twist, Virginia mixture, Scottish blend, tobacco. The Windbriar Smoke Shop with hand blended tobaccos. Like I said, I have a sort of Husk Post Nummer. Well, it's got a Denmark stamp. See, it's got a Denmark stamp. That's cool. From 16 December 1968. I'll keep that one too for a minute or two. Okay, so this is kind of cool because these are ads, but on the back, somebody hand typed it, which means that somebody, which might have been my father, because my father was really into typing things. My dad was a character. Yep. Out in your neighborhood there, some user. That's where this guy's from. Out in your neighborhood, but many, many moons before you were born. All right, what do we got here? Moons many long before I was born. Some are worth money. I'm not throwing away stamps at this point for that very reason, because that's a very solid point, Donald. Spec 5, George M. Davis. Well, oh yeah, printed matter. One-way trip. Military duty rail ticket. Where? One person. Oh, Frankfurt. It's Frankfurt. Okay, well, hey, I was at this rail station. From Frankfurt. I was at the Frankfurt rail. Oh, he was great. I was at the Frankfurt rail station too, just like this. But I was there many, many moons after this guy. I was there in 2018, and and he was there in 1968. All right, make sure there's nothing in here I need, other than it's entertaining to see letters written to Spec 5. That's kind of funny. These are just order sheets. You could order more. Okay, that's funny. I will keep one and take a picture of it, and then, like everything else, I will throw it away. Oh man, a guide to Indian country. What does that mean? Oh, Four Corners. So Cedar City through Cortez to Grand Junction, down to Albuquerque, and then over to Flagstaff. That's kind of cool. Although I don't think they'd ever call it Indian country now. On top of shrink wrapping everything, my father was also known for laminating stuff. It's my dad and his city pipes. Maps of Montgomery. But this has the lake, so I'm not keeping it unless there's some reason to keep. Yeah, Lake Conroe is. Boats. Hey, hey Brent. Can you look up for me, if you've got a moment, or anybody while they're at it, looking for a ship called the Federico C. Period. 20,000 tons. About that cruise ship. Looks like I've got one, maybe two pictures of her. No, this is the Cunard Princess. Just see if she's been sunk. Because if she's been sunk, I'll keep that. Itinerary. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, hey. July 10th, Thursday, Gray Line Motor Coach Charter. Cunard Princess sails from Vancouver at 5 on a 3-day cruise through the Inside Passage to Juneau. Oh, I know what this was about. My grandmother and grandfather went to Alaska, and this is their itinerary. Well, that's kind of cool. It was in the early 80s, so it'd be really nice if you guys actually told me what year. instead of just saying July 19th. And I guess I could figure it out because it says July. Oh, she was sunk, huh? Thank you, sir. This does not tell me what year. Well, I'll keep that because that is interesting. And now that she's been sunk, I'm kind of curious. Anything on the Cunard Princess, MV Cunard Princess, registered out of Britain? Statler Hilton. So I worked for a little while at an antiques place, and a lot of the things in the antiques place that they said was sometimes the postcards are very popular and they sell well depending, but like it's got to be something like the ship sunk. It's a water safety guide for Turkey. Okay, there's a reason why I saved this water safety guide. My dad met this guy in Turkey when he was stationed there, who was this like old salty sailor. I hope it wasn't an iceberg too. They were up in the northern waters. I mean, that's what they were doing. So, salty sailor, and he loved this guy. He called him like Abu or Babu or something. I don't remember what he called him. Another map of Conroe. But as long as these are all 10-digit dialing, it's not old enough for me to. Oh, this has got a picture of the bus. It's got the bus's seats. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay, now I'm into that plan. Bowers. Apparently, my dad had Jack Bowers' phone number. Just so you know, could have reorganized the satellites just for you guys. These are bus vouchers. Sweet. Billet. Ankara, Istanbul, Samsun, Trabzon, Gibraltar. This is a hell of a drive. These are bus vouchers. It's kind of cool. Oh. My dad was, she was scrapped. Thank you. I'll search for Wednesday, July 28th, 2000. Oh, hey. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, and that's what Cunard does with all of their ships. Everything's something, something princess. Space flight pioneers set sights on X Prize. The company that launched the first privately funded human space mission said Tuesday that it will try to capture a $10 million prize offered to encourage commercial flights. To win the Ansari X Prize, a team must launch one 3-seat spaceship beyond an altitude of 62.5 miles twice in 2 weeks. Burt Rutan of Scaled Composites of Mojave, California, said he plans to launch his spaceship September 29th and possibly October 4th. On June 21st, the company's spaceship became the first to complete such a flight without government funding. Rutan said his company is solving control problems that plagued his spacecraft during its flight. The founders of the X Prize hope the contest will help make space travel available to the public. I think that's what my dad saved this for. Or something about George Bush. I can't imagine. I can imagine that. My dad something George Bush. Oh, I know what this is about. My sister was in the newspaper, but not for any reason you'd imagine. Yeah. sister was in the newspaper because she was on a detail and protecting Carrie's wife, I think. I don't know. Something. But yeah. And so she got her picture in the paper. Okay. Anyway. 9/11 terrorists flew at will. That's a thing, I guess. I don't know why we're keeping this. One of the reasons I do this, though, is because I look over everything just to make sure. That there's nothing in here. I mean, because, like, legitimately, if I don't recognize it, there's no reason to keep it. Prosecutor Jackson imprisoned boy to obtain denial. Okay. Democratic Party is running on fumes. Okay. Amish reality TV show. Okay. Judge and Brian case. You know, if you didn't know that this was a real, honest to goodness newspaper, sometimes it just sounds strange. Some of these headlines. You're like, did they really make a headline for that? Mm-hmm. Dry, wet weather. Oh, that's why. There's my sister. Right? Amish reality TV show. Like I said, sometimes it's just like I read these things. I already have this though. So that's why my dad kept that one. I already got that one. And this one. The next day. Apparently she's still at it. Yep, I got that one too. I just like the Amish reality TV show. That sounds like fun. Doesn't it sound like something you just watch every last minute of? Alright, what do we got here? Architect's design flight. Oh, hey! Huh. My dad built this house. One of the houses my dad built here in Denver. I'm glad to have this. Because it says the actual address of the house. I've been looking for this house for years. Because I know it's out on Green Mountain somewhere. But I couldn't find it. And so... And the saddest part is I recently found out that this guy who helped Dad, his name was Greg Franta, and he actually became like a well-known architect for his designs. And then he died in a car accident, which was sad. The car accident was just one of those, oh, come on. He was out in the mountains and he accidentally drove off the side of the road and ended up in a valley, which nobody found him for long enough that he expired. I was like, oh, it's like a sad way to die. But I mean, a lot of people do. Sadly, it's one of our more common things to have happen here in Colorado. All these people live down here in the flats. I don't know why we're keeping this, except there's old pictures of oil wells. Okay. Remember when 1978, and other than this is throwing back to 1878, so I don't know why they're, other than images from Conroe, I don't know. Remember when 1979? Willis High School, 1940s. Well, that's Willis. Let me know why that in here. Harris, cut and shoot. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. And other than these being really cool pictures, but I think the Montgomery County Historical Society has all of those, and I don't need to keep them legitimately. Sonny Schwab photographs. Okay. Sonny Schwab photography. Michelle Slaughter. That's a name. Amy Schwab. Sometime during the last 7 years, you had a headshot shooting with my late husband. Aw. You may already know that Sonny was diagnosed with cancer. I changed careers twice, moved twice, and recently remarried. I'll be moving yet again toward the end of this year. Opportunity to purchase your old negatives if you're interested. Having moved the enormous collection twice, I'm not going to move it again. Make the negatives available for a limited time. Did he get his original negatives? That's empty. He had headshots done. Originals enclosed. Maybe. If so, I don't know who Michelle Slaughter is, though. I mean, I've got her resume here. She went to college. There you go. That's what I know. Michael Davis, Proof, Afternoon, Anderson Graphics, Typesets. Yes. Here, my order is enclosed. I don't know. And some of this is fascinating. I still remember when Dad said I'm getting headshots, and I started laughing. I didn't mean to, but my mom was the one who was in the movies and the movie industry and stuff like that. So I didn't. I thought Dad was joking. He's like, "I'm going to go get headshots," and I'm like, "You're joking." Because I mean, why would you go get headshots? You know, he's like, "I'm going to be a voiceover actor," and I was like, "Oh, actually, he's got a great voice, so I'm not going to actually complain." Contract sheet, suit, sports coat, color is blue. Here's the thing. Oh, okay, let's see if we've got Dad's originals in here. That's kind of cool. These are his originals. That'd be nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, my dad was a handsome dude. Look at that. Pretty handsome. Actually, kind of glad that I got these. These are good pieces. These are good pieces for my father. Yeah, see? Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And in his pea coat, he loved his pea coat. There's that. So, yeah. All right. These I will keep. As these are his originals. I've kept copies of these, but I like the fact that I've got the originals. That makes me happy. I should probably put something on here that indicates what they are, though. There we go. Do you need something there, George? What's the story? What's the story, cat? I'm not chasing you. I'm not playing that game. Okay, George, you can play that game if you want, I guess. But the rest of this, I think I'm going to throw away. Do not bend. Send to a gallery. Oh, he did other shots. Dang. Wait. Those are the ones he liked, I guess. Oh, look at that. Some other ones. It's got some smiles going for him. Hey, I dig this. These are all his original roles. Oh, this is nice. Oh, yeah. I'm going to scan the heck out of these, like, right now. No, not right now. Right now. Clear the scanner bed. Put these on there right this second before I lose these. I'll scan these at a high res. And that should be able to allow me the ability. All right. Hang on, guys. I'm going to run those through the scanner real quick. Nice high resolution copies. That'll be nice. Set for 600 DPI. I'm actually going to try to bump it up to 1200 and see what we get. Go for it. Okay. That's kind of nice to find. That's a really nice find. What I might do is put those in that. Because the original photos are enclosed there. I feel like something else in here. That's his client. All right, that was his agent. Here's his voiceover classes. You know, purple, whatever. I have no idea. What was my dad doing? Western Monarch. I hope you guys are getting a lot of good work done since I'm going through this. Anytime my dad wrote anything, this is what I meant. This is my dad's normal handwriting. Look at that. Like, this was his fast handwriting, too. And it looks 100 times better than anything I ever write. Such gorgeous handwriting. And this was even when he was just running fast. That's what he would do. voiceover demo tape. I don't know. Somewhere is my dad. When I find it, I'm gonna be so cool. You're so scanning. You are. Nope. Whoa. Uh-oh. Huh? My dad being my dad, dutifully saved all of the checks he ever made or ever got as a voiceover talent. This implies he did more than I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs here. My dad actually did voiceover work. Like he actually, here I was making fun of him. Really shouldn't have been. I wasn't making fun of him. It's kind of hard to. I mean, I don't. I didn't make fun of him, you know. Tiffany Grant. Tiffany Grant was the voice actress for as of Asuka in the English version of Evangelion, and Dad apparently worked with her at one point in time. I say that like I was shocked. The truth of the matter is, I knew that because one year we had Tiffany Grant as a guest on. Oh, hey, my mom's resume. That's not something that I'm gonna at least take a picture of that. Yeah, and so he worked with her at one point, and we had her as a guest at NDK one year after you signed with an agent. And when I did, I remember my dad saying, "Well, tell her I said hi," and I was like, "How do you know Tiffany Grant?" Yeah, Mom's ongoing thing about acting. If you have to take a class, they're just trying to sell you on being an actor. Yeah. Huh. My dad, he took an acting class. I'll be darned. No, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think he. I don't think he actually was in any. But that's what I thought up until now, and now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe he was in something. I mean, I don't know. Addison Smith, obituaries. Who's this? Oh, Mr. McCullough. Mr. McCullough was the superintendent. I know who that is. Oh, good. Another set of my sister's newspapers. That's fun. That cracks me up more than anything. Antique store owners. Ross. Okay. Clayton. I'm not keeping these if I don't know these people directly. So my dad was very much into the history of the town that he lived in. And frankly, I'm not. I'll keep these for right now. Another copy of the grand opening of my grandmother's shop, and a copy of the article when my grandmother closed her shop. Takes the 1946. Elmwood Plantation. Oh, this is my dad's favorite teacher. I'll keep that. Mrs. Moon. Apparently that was his favorite teacher. Okay. Trying to figure out where we have this one. Yeah, I don't know either, George. I have no idea. Do you know? Yeah, like, see, I don't know. Yeah, I know. Well, and here's the thing. Okay, here's the deal. The thing about this is that my mom and dad both came from a very tiny town, a little teeny town in Texas. And so things like, somebody dying or whatever, or somebody getting married, or somebody, like, it was big news. This is the article in the paper from my grandmother's closing of the shop. So, like, she got a quarter, what is this, an eighth of a page article on her closing of the shop. When she closed her fabric shop, it was a big deal in town. My dad, of course, also got 3 copies of it, which kind of cracks me up. But I mean, like, and here's my grandmother opening up her 3rd shop at one point in time in the 60s. In the 60s, she, as you might imagine, she had her shop. She moved from downtown on Main Street to out in the middle of nowhere. And so here's the article on that, and so this is, are you done yet? Nope, not even done over there. So I mean, some of these make total sense. Yeah. Here's the same article. Here's the same article. Here's the same article. Here's the same article. Like, my dad got like 100 copies of this. This is pretty funny, actually. Here's the same article. Right, I am now entertained completely. Well, this is good because I can actually get like the rest of the. But he went out and apparently bought like 12 copies of this. It's very funny. It cracks me up. Oh my god. Okay, that's funny. My dad's apparent theory in life was, why do it if you can't overdo it? All right. In the past 10 years, the number of employees rose from 225 to 600. All employees are under civil service, with the exception of the superintendent. Okay. United States Mint. Why are we July 1975? Oh, okay. Yeah, just a cool little handwritten, or not hand-typed, I guess typed. Hand-typed isn't the right word, but typed thing about the Mint. In 1975, my mom and dad had been here in Denver for a whopping 3 years. So it doesn't seem that weird that, hey, Kat, it doesn't seem, Jackson, I'm working on it. It doesn't seem that weird that my dad kept the little, brief or whatever of the Mint. Because it, at the time, that was kind of nifty. Characteristics of coins. Huh. Republic of Turkey. Turkey is situated between Europe and Asia, holds the straits which joins the two continents. Total area of the country is 772,091 square kilometers. Its population is 27 million, according to the year 1960 census. The principal cities are Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir, Bursa, Adana, Konya, Antalya, and Samsun. Turkish coinage depends on decimal system. The smallest denomination is 1 kurush. And 100 pieces of kurush coins makes 1 lira, which is the largest denomination. Since the year of 1960, a 2.5 lira coin has been issued instead of the same valued banknote. Huh. I'll keep that. How to make a penny at the Denver Mint. That's cute. It's ridiculously cute. I know. I totally owe Jackson a beer now. I'll follow that because that also is the rules on the Enterprise. If you miss the grade, you owe them a drink. So established. Wow. This is my family in 1900. Like, this is the Moore family, Moore clan. Put that over here. Oh, man, along with these. Oh, kick butt. I've got the other pictures for this set. This is Christmas of 1978. I've got the other pictures that go to this set. My ridiculous sister in her Class A's. All kinds of stuff going on here. Oh, my sister, noted everything. This is a trip my sister went on. Well, that's nice of her. And, oh, yeah. And here's a letter she wrote to my dad in Arabic. That won't help my dad at all. I think she was just flexing, really, to be honest. My sister speaks a ridiculous number of languages. I don't need to keep this. I'm proud of him for doing awesome work as far as. That one's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe. Yep, Jackson, I owe you a beer. All right, don't need to keep that. Don't need. Maybe I'll keep some of these. How you doing, Jackson? How's life out there? Negatives. More negatives. This is why I have this going here. These all look like negatives too. Don't drop them. Right? I know. She sounds like my older sister. Joke's on her. I'm older. Ha ha. That's my dad. It's not my dad calling, but that's my dad's voice. Nope. I already paid you guys. Why are you calling me? I literally paid you. Before my dad died, I had him record all kinds of cool things. That's funny. It's a name tag. Yeah, she just thinks she is. She thinks she's the older sister. Yeah, look. My sister writing in Arabic on the back because she's flexing. My sister flexing, man. That's cool. The ticket to the 84 World's Fair in New Orleans. Yeah, called to thank me for the payment. Yeah, whatever. Mike, enclosed are black and white photos dated 1955, box of Davis photos. It's my mom and dad and grandparents at their wedding. So my dad and his mom and dad, and my mom and her mom and dad. So this picture contains like all the important people for me when I was a kid. Like these were the most important people. So important. And it's so funny to think that. Anyway, now of course they're all gone. That's sad. I'm sad. My sister was adorable. This is my sister being adorable because she was a little thing and was just adorable. Ho! Score. That's me and my cat, Twerp. I love Twerp. He was the bestest cat that ever catted. Except for George. George really is kind of the bestest cat that ever catted. Come to think of it, that's always a good thing. I thought that picture was gone. Holy Moses! Huh. That's funny. That's my dad, me, my sister, my grandmother, and my cousin. 1988. The funniest thing is, I don't remember this picture being taken. Or for that matter, why I had red things on my knees. I don't know what that means either. My sister at college. Twerp. Twerp was a cool cat, and that's Cinders. She was a cool cat too. But you know what's the best part about Twerp? He let you put things on him because he was a good cat. I miss Twerp. Definitely a good cat. That, and he had a penchant for sitting weird in chairs. Man, I got a lot of pictures of Twerp all of a sudden. Twerp and baby. I don't want to hear it. The kittens. We had a litter of kittens once that lived with us. This was the first George, was the... You were dead in 1988. Some user wasn't even here yet. I don't know if that's... Are you dead if you're not born yet? Is that what that is? I mean, I'm not sure here. These are the best pictures. It's me and my sister and Yoko. And my sister... Oh, it's our house on Chase Street. And our house on Chase Street when it was snowing. And, oh yeah, that's Fuzzy. Fuzzy got his name Fuzz Bucket from this picture because he kept sitting in things like bowls. Weird little cat. And there's my dog Corey and Fuzz Bucket later on in life. You can see Fuzz Bucket got markedly bigger. Annie and Corey would often like sleep with like go to sleep, and Baby was the old cat, even though she was called Baby because she was called Baby when we were younger. But here she is, Baby's all curled up inside Corey, and Corey was like, you know what, whatever. Always one of those things. Oh. Me in a suit, flexing. Oh, yeah. My sister graduating from the DLI, Defense Language Institute. Oh, me going off to college, my first time round, back in 92. The baby sleeping inside of Corey phenomenon was not just once, but many times that happened, all the time. My dad at a wedding. My dad at a wedding somewhere along the line. I don't know. That's a weird thing. I don't know what that's all about, but there you go. These were all of my dad's favorite pictures from that birthday party. My sister. Oh yeah, here's my dad in situ. This is a normal thing my father did, which was go to sleep in chairs. Yeah. Loans, if you are a bot, then then this is useless to talk to you about. But if you're not a bot, I'm not in the market for anything. Oh. Here's me at 2. There's me, 2 years old, guys. If you ever want to know what I look like at 2, that's what I look like. Chubby cheeks and all. Oh, family. The family that's in denim together, stenoms together, or something. Mom, dad, my sister, and me, all in denim. Because it was the 70s. And that's what we did in the 70s. So, you know. Why do we have all of these? Why did Dad have all of these pictures? These are all pictures of my grandmother's house. And by grandmother's house, I mean my mom's dad's. My mom's house. There's my house on Chase Street. Another picture of my house on Chase Street. These are like pictures that Mom had. Huh. I'm kind of fascinated by this. These are all pictures that Mom had, but clearly now my dad has them. I guess my mom must have surrendered it at some point in time. Well, there's my goofy cousin. Good. Look at me having all kinds of blackmail material for my cousin. Oh, okay. Oh no, I can nuke it from Restream too. It just usually crashes the what's it. So more pictures of my cousin. Oh, that's my famous cousin picture. Yep, like I said, my dad in situ. This is the way my dad normally was in life. I'm just saying. Oh, the infamous picture of my dad in pink pants. Pink, because the 80s. Or the 70s, I mean. And like I said, that's me. That's my dad. You'll note I'm awake, but my dad, nope, gone. Totally gone. Poof. Paul and Aunt Lucille were killed in their house. Still, it's a cold case now. Still, nobody knows what happened. We have a pretty good guess, but nothing can be done now. That happened just before my grandmother died, and so nothing we can do about it. Aw, it's me and Joy. Oh my God! It's my first car, guys. That's my first car. That's the Vega. The Vega. This car did more things, blew more stuff up, ruined more stuff, and this is why I know everything about cars. Is because of this car right here. When I first got it, it already was smoking and required me to, man, look at that. This is me saying, isn't my car cool? And my sister, who's kindly helping me wash my car. I think that's very nice of her. This is just about everybody at my birthday party. And my car. All right. So, yeah, there's that. And there's that. And that. Oh, more pictures of my sister. Why are all these in here? I mean, I don't mind it. I'm kind of glad. But still, it's kind of like, why are all these pictures in here? Oh, there's Annie. That's useful. There's my dad and my grandma. My sister. Aw. There's my mom and my sister. My sister was a preemie. And so, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my car tried to do that too. We just discovered that what I think happened was when they made my car, they just took rust and they formed it in the form of a car and then painted the rust. So, after the paint came off, it just disintegrates, which is, what happened. That's what I think happened there. Just saying. I don't make the rules. Yep, my car completely disintegrated. It was very funny. Well, okay. It was funny. It's funny to 50-year-old me. It is not funny. Was not funny to whatever 35 or 17-year-old me. 17-year-old me did not find that funny. Just saying. Right? Your car, my car, both done the same way. Just take the whole whatever and just compress it, Mike. The enclosed black and white photos are that's my grandfather. There's my dad and my uncle. There's my grandmother and my dad. My grandmother, my dad, and my uncle. My grandmother and my uncle. That's cool. This is my grandfather. His name was Guy Davis. And that's where my name comes from, is him. Guy, we called him Guy William. Guy William got cancer, and in 1957 he died. So, that was kind of sad, but I never met him. But that's where I got my name. $1955. So this would have been 2 years before Guy William passed. That's useful. All right. Here's a prized possession right here. Hopefully the prized possession does not, in fact, include, say, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Uh-huh. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. The original vellum plans of my dad's shop. And these are all pinned by him. My dad's draftsmanship work, and I recognize it. My dad's shop done by my dad. Hopefully, no bugs. Bugs like vellum. Did you know that, George? Did you know bugs like Bella? Did you know that? Did you? George has been in here like 5 times, trying to just figure out what's going on. He's like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's freaking me out. Right? Whatever it is, it's freaking you out. You're just such a floof. He's like, but I can see so many things from up here. Like, for example, a box that I could totally get into and maybe even disrupt everything in here. Imagine the destruction I would cause. See you later, Donald. Oh, George feels my emotions. I'm sure. George's entire world is like confused because I'm going through all this stuff, right? You're just all confused because you don't know what's going on. Most of this is just trash. Okay. These are going to be interesting. New work, bed, and coffee table. Look, we 3D printed out the save icon. So I actually tend to get black cats because a lot of people will get black cats during Halloween and then kill them. So I actually intentionally try to get black cats as often as I can, because they will live a normal life with me. They will live a life that does not, in fact, involve them being killed. So that doesn't happen a lot, but I'm pretty sure that one less black cat is always a plus. You want to play chess with me? Yeah, they kill them. There are people who are still superstitious, and so they believe that black cats are bad luck or something like that, and so they kill them. And so I tend to get black cats just to save them. Of course, they also have to be. I mean, it's not solely black cats. Look at this, United Airlines playing cards. You used to could get these on airplanes. They would give you these cards because you were bored. You had nothing else to do on the plane, so they give you that. Thank you, Mike. My father was such a goofball. And my dad, ladies and gentlemen, my dad. Give my dad Photoshop, and this is what happens. My father. He was a character in the third. All right, Mr. Mike Davis. Yet another thing from Denmark. Sorry, we don't have a until spring of 1987. Holy cow. World's greatest selection of pipes. Wow. This is. Of course, it's against the law. I mean, it's certainly against. It doesn't stop people from doing it, but it's absolutely against the law. And I mean, and again, does it happen a whole lot? Probably not. I'm pretty sure that's not something that happens a whole lot, but it's one less. Here you go, guys. Another shrink wrapped slide rule. Oh, my dad. I swear. At least he's consistent. You know what? After I'm gone, I hope you guys have stories that are similar in nature to mine. My stories of Dad. I hope you have stories that are similar in nature about me. That's all I gotta say. Wow, these are some nice pipes. You can even get blue pipes. I didn't know you could get pipes in colors. There's that. You get yourself some hookahs. Looks like. It's kind of wild. Some good stuff. Really pretty art. No. Not enough for me to keep, though. Not pretty enough for me to care. All right. Oh. This cover sheet is secret. Can't see past this. True, too, because it's top secret. Also shrink wrapped so you can't see it. I find this humorous. Previous editions of this label are obsolete. This cover sheet is unclassified when separated from classified documents. Okay, I'm finding this much more humorous than it needs to be. The unauthorized disclosure of the information contained in the attached documents could result in exceptionally grave danger to the United States. Oh, these are actual cover sheets. Oh, and he's got more than one. Huh. That's kind of cool, actually. My dad was in the military, and the things he did in the military I know were graded secret or top secret. So, I mean, I'm cognizant and aware. Thrifty welcomes you to Denver. Okay. Yes, you can go to sleep. Why were you in Denver? Oh, there's Denver, all right. That's definitely Denver. Okay. Well, I mean, it's nice of them to give my dad a map of Denver. We live here, so there's that. Berks Garden Recreation Area Certificate of Achievement. Huh. For completion of the Learn to Ski Week, Skytop, 24 February 1967. Dad does weird stuff. Here's, that's not. Oh, and here's some loose versions of his secret and top secret. Right? That's totally what you're here for, some user. Well, here you go. Here's your secret. Here's the top secret stuff. Now you have both of them. You can tell your superiors that. Hey, I got the secret and the top secret. That's a map of. If resold, price may not exceed 10 cents per map. Oh, that's Richard Lamb. This is the governor that actually did stuff here. Like, nobody else seems to do. Well, I don't know. Governor Polis is doing okay. Shouldn't gripe. Let's see what we got here. Trying to figure out what year we're at here on this. It's before C470, so. Wow, holy crap, it's before 225 and that's actually pretty old. I'm like, wait, how old is this map? Does it have a Denver insert? Good night, or goodbye, Brent. Probably see you later on tonight. I'm only staying on longer because I've still got to go through this. Might as well go through it and chat with you guys. It's kind of fascinating. I see Boulder, but I don't see. Usually they have an insert for Denver. There's the insert. Denver. All right. 225s on here and 270s on here. Okay, but C470 is not. It gives me a good idea of where this is and when. Nobody had taken over Stanley Lake at this point. That's funny. Huh. Cool. I will probably, out of curiosity, see, takes a gun. There's no guns in here. There are apparently, however, dead flies. Where to vacation in Colorado? Okay, well, where do you vacation in Colorado in 1976? Eisenhower Tunnel. Oh, Eisenhower Tunnel. The first bore was completed in 1973. The second bore should be completed in several years. Oh, for tomorrow. Gotcha. I don't think I'll have I don't know. Anything could happen. Downtown Denver, the Media F building. Yeah. Wow, it's kind of fun. It's like all these old things that are going on in Denver. This is kind of cool. Oh, hey. Long's Peak. There you go. Long's Peak, guys. Which for some reason is not called Long Mountain. That just sounds weird. We'd never do that, so it's kind of weird. El Rancho. El Rancho is still there. It's kind of cool. Ooh, Benson and Hedges, guys. Anytime you have Benson and Hedges involved. Oh, hey. What is this? Huh. There's a route map for... Oh, it's a comet. It's a comet? Kick butt. Wait, does it say anything about the comet? I see the tail. Yes. Look at that. That's a classic plane. Dang. Look at that, guys. It's a comet. Hawker Siddeley Comet. Man. That's cool. I also made the Trident before the 727. The HS 748. Man, I will keep this. But only because I'm an airplane geek. And, oh man, a route map for the Comet? That's kick butt. Parachute Club of America. Basic safety regulations. I want to comment on how small this book is. This is your basic safety regulations for jumping out of an airplane, people. All right, what do we got? Spec 5, George Davis. Oh, yeah, that had to have been safe. Turkish Airlines tickets. George Davis, Spec 5. Another Pan Am ticket. Check it. Pan Am. Here's this Legage, 1966. From Ankara. To where? To Rome. Frankfurt. So, transportation lowest rate from Ankara to Frankfurt via Rome. My dad was moving all over the place. 17 November 1966. All right. That's kind of kick butt. I won't keep this, but I'll take a picture of it. No reason to keep it, but it is kind of cool. All right. 68. These are all American Express receipts. Yep. Page, the order of Thomas J. Taylor. Who's my dad? I think it's fascinating also that in 1968, my dad's signature was the same as it was in 1920 or 2021. It's kind of funny. Those are all of his bank receipts. So I'll do what I do with everything else. Take a picture of all of this and then throw them all away. You may be wondering, why am I taking a picture of all these things? They all seem like they're ridiculous. Why would you do that? And the answer really is, okay, so in the middle of all of these receipts from my dad when he was stationed overseas in 1968 is my sister's unit number. So this is like her actual like unit she was deployed to when she was in the military. I'm like, that would have been quite a few years later. It's a guest receipt for the Ritz-Carlton. Embarkation. Port of Disembarkation, Dover. Aliens Order 1953. Huh. I don't know why he was embarking. British United. Ooh. Oh, that's so cool. Senna in ancient times. The Winchester House. The Woodlands map. Meerschaum. I think you really just got that because it was a bunch of Spec 5. Again, all of these things are... There we go. Slide rule, or how to use it. That's good because I'm not 100% sure any of us know how to use a slide rule. So, I mean, I don't think it's been in use since the age of the calculator. Oh, good. Anybody want whiskey? Here's the other instruction book for the slide rules. So, you have the slide rules, you have their books. This is a post. This is a post. So, there are both of the slide rules and their books. Excellent. Here's my first original white belt. This is my white belt from 100 million years ago. So, when dinosaurs roamed this earth, I was white belt. That was a long ass time ago. Just in case. Veteran's life card. I'll take a picture of that. I don't know if I want to keep that. All right. Oh, hey, my mom's driver's license. Good. I do want to keep that. This is beautiful. General view of Bethlehem. Okay, this is one that we're just going to have to do one at a time, but it's hard to see. But this is made of wood, and they burnt little camels into it. It's beautiful. This is an album, a picture album. But it's going to have to be dealt with in a different way. Everything else. All right. Singer treadle machine. I don't have the Singer treadle machine. Why do I have the key? Why would my sister give me the... Oh, this is cool. Doctor is in. Doctor is out. Doctor is in. Doctor is out. We'll return. And I got little arms. Isn't that cute? And my grandfather was a chiropractor. All right. And we have an LG cricket phone. I don't know why. All right. All right, guys, we're coming down to the bottom here, at which time I'm going to bow out of this call, or this show, and because I have now successfully pulled everything and sorted everything out of this container. And this container has been what we call rescued. Rescuing containers is my new thing. What I mean by that is I'm taking these containers and I'm digging through them, taking pictures, throwing things away. And it's been kind of cool. So that's neat. So anyway, that has been my trip for just right now. Oh my gosh. So, I think I'm done for the day. So here we are. We're going to be here for a minute or two, but I'm done. I think I'm out for the day. I hope you enjoyed my not exactly sure what I was doing here. I mean, I don't know if you want to call this memory lane or whatever, but whatever's the story, I hope you enjoyed it. Life is just a bowl of sea foam. Oh, this is from Stars and Stripes. That's kind of cool in its own way. It's just that it's Stars and Stripes, which means my dad got it when he was in the actual military at that time. Stars and Stripes, guys. You're welcome, some user. Thanks for keeping me company. And thanks for keeping me company as well, Sansi. I know I'm kind of boring right now, but this is a big job that it's needed to be done for so very long. And it's causing so much strife in my life. And I feel so much better just going through all of this stuff and throwing things away. You know, I'm taking pictures of it with the camera right here. All I do is put it right here, take a picture, and then I can throw it away. And I don't have to keep it anymore. And if there's no reason to keep stuff, I'm not keeping it. There's just no reason for it. So anyway, I appreciate you guys all being here. I'm going to have to push the little button and make this all go away. That's all right. We know we keep all of these on Discord. So there's a complete record on Discord if you ever want it. It's in the area that's, I don't know what it's called. I think I call it archive or something like that. But either way, I appreciate you guys all being here and keeping me company while I do this. I hope you guys got some work done too. And I'll be back on again tonight at 9 o'clock Mountain Time p.m., 9 p.m. Mountain Time, if you want to join me then. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, of course, at this same time. So I will talk to you all later. I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening, depending on where you are in the world. And as always, keep your eyes in the stars. Goodbye.